Hello everyone. So today we are going to work on how to get this marker appear in the minimap. So here you can see if as I move around that B appears in the minimap as well. And if I walk here, it is there. I go closer to that, it's right on the top of the player too. And yeah, so that is working. And also we are going to create an option. If my map does not rotate towards the players forward, if my map is always keeping north up, in that case also the marker is still working. See, P is still working without any problem. So yeah, this is what we are going to work on today. We are going to figure out the math, and we are going to define the data structures and the messaging system to dynamically add markers into the minimap. And before we get started, let me remind you that you can download the project files of this project and all other thousands of projects I have done in my channel. To the date, there are over 2000 videos and 12,000 members in the Patreon page. So yeah, once you become a member, you can download anything without any limits. So feel free to check it out. I'll leave the link in description below. And here you can see the full playlist of this series. Everything is explained from scratch and implemented. You can follow these episodes and implement everything you see here in this tutorial, in this project, by yourself too. So yeah, I'll leave links to everything in description below. And let's now get started with today's episode. Right, so this is what we have right now. In the minimap, we do see the map image, and we do have a waypoint marker or a checkpoint marker over there. So I want that marker to appear in the minimap. That's the next step. All right, so for that, let's go back to our map and markers and open this marker data. Maybe we should have a separate structure to hold data related to minimap marker. So I'll create a new one. So print structure s minimap marker data. Or let's just call it map marker data, because we might be able to reuse this for the main map as well, not just the minimap. So let's just call it map marker data. Okay, let's open it. So what do we need here? Well, first of all, I'll add a variable show on minimap, because I'm planning to reuse the same marker component to drive the minimap as well. Therefore, we might need to know if we actually want to show the object in the minimap. So show on minimap. Then I'll add a widget, minimap widget. Perhaps we can use this minimap marker as the base widget, just a background and a label. Let's use that. Yeah. Oh, there is a typo. Map marker, minimap widget, map marker, WBP minimap marker, and a class reference. I'll also add a label. It should be a text and a color. Okay, let's go to report values. Minimap widget, I can assign this one show on minimap. I'll leave it as false by default, and the color, let's make it white by default, and the label, we don't need anything. Okay, now to the marker component, I'll add now s map marker data. Map marker. Now to this one. Let's go to marker, marker properties, show on minimap. That's the label. This is, do we already have a label? Yeah, this is B. So it would be ideal if we have a single place to assign that. But right now, maybe later on we can refactor and maybe introduce a separate structure to hold common data that is common for both map marker, map and workspace markers or hard markers. But right now, let's just stick with this, and I'll use the same color. Okay, now, yeah, let's go to the marker component. Just like this broadcast message. Oh, we forgot one thing. We need instigator. Maybe let's not call it instigator. Let's call this world actor. I think that's a good name. That's more clear. Do we have any more errors? Oh, good. So I changed the name in the marker data. So map marker data also. Let's add world actor, and it should be an actor reference. And also for the marker data as well, initially we should have a boolean show hard marker. I'll make it true by default. Then in here we should only broadcast this if we break, and this is true. Because we might need, in some cases, we might have to show just a map marker but not a hard marker. So for cases like that, this would be important. And it crashed. So I re-added, it crashed before. So I re-added this and go here. Let me compile. Go here, compile. Oh, why is it crashing? Restart. Okay, it seems to crash anymore. Let me play. Right here, break, and use this. Check this condition before broadcasting. So marker on hard. Okay. Now this is for the marker. And let's collapse this into a function. Broadcast add marker data. Now I'll duplicate this function and let's call it broadcast minimap data, because essentially this is going to be the same, but we would be having a different structure. So here, instead of marker properties, I'll get the map marker properties. Set member, and the member is word actor. I think I should move it up, like the second thing. Do any change to structure and try to compile, it crashes. Right. I delete this. Now duplicate this broadcast. Instead of hard, this should be map marker data. And here, instead of this one, I need to set members in map marker. We need to set is this word actor. Then we need to break this, show on minimap. We need to check if it is true. Then we need to send a broadcast with this message, this map marker properties, but we will need to use a different channel. I'll choose UI, let's add a subtag, minimap, add. Okay, now I'll call this function here in the begin play, broadcast map marker data. All right, now let's go to our minimap. Here, let's add a function. Oh well, I don't think we can use a function because we have a not with a delay to listen for messages. So let's add it here. The event listen for messages. So I want to listen for gameplay messages. And here the tag is UI minimap add. And the payload type is S map marker data. And once we receive a message here, let's pass that and let's add it, create a function to add a marker that represents the object through this payload. So this payload is a SMAP marker structure. Let's collapse to function add marker. marker data. Okay. Now from the map marker data, we can access what actor it is representing, and obviously this should be true, otherwise we will not receive this message. And here we have the label and color too. Now I'll create a variable here. Let's call it mark actor marker map. So here I'll choose the type actor, and then I'll turn this into a map, and as the key this, and as the value I'll choose this type of minimap widget, WBP minimap marker. Object reference. Okay, now let me, yeah, before I add any or create any widget, I'll do a check. Let's do a find and see if we already have added the marker that represents this object. If not, if this is not found, that means we can add a new marker. So here we can use this type, create widget, WBP minimap marker widget. So here we have this label text, exposed, and get on in player. Let me go here and open this minimap marker, and I'll add a variable marker data, type marker data, instance editable, and expose on spawn. Now here let's change this. Let's collapse this to a function, initialize marker. Okay, now let's get rid of this text because I already used this minimap marker to add cardinal directions. Why do I do that? Okay, here so for north, south, east, west, we are using this label text. Now I'll just change and use this label instead of label text. North 10, south S, east E, west W. And then instead of this, I'll break this, use the label, compile, everything is still fine. So now we can get rid of this. Compile, save, compile, everything is fine. Let me quickly check if the directions are still working. Yeah, they do. Okay, now that we have this initialized, I'll also use this color parameter to change the color of this border. So border is not a variable. And that's all I need to change for now. Yeah. So here, for example, for north, if I change this color, see, it changes to red. But I don't need to change it. I just need to check if it is working. Okay, now in this add marker, now we can pass this marker data with this parameter. Map marker data. Okay. Also, now I can add this to this map. And this is the object 𝐂𝐚𝐽𝐸. This is the key. I'll change this to a local, promote this to a local parameter. Let's call it marker widget. Any possible duplications. Okay, and then we need to update the location of the marker widget as well and add it to this canvas. So how do we do that? I'll canvas panel 35. This is already a variable. I'll call this minimap canvas. Then add child to canvas. This is the content. And this returns canvas panel slot. So set alignment. I'll set the alignment to 0.5, 0.5, so that just like this. This is also 0.5, 0.5. So it will be considered as the middle point, as the pivot when I set the position. And also I'll anchor it to the middle. And okay, so this is anchored to the middle and alignment is set to the center. Okay, now if I just play, that marker should appear in the middle. It doesn't. Alright. I don't think I call this add marker anywhere. Yep. Let's do it here. Let's see for messages. The thing, yeah, see, P is added here but it's not updating, obviously. That's fine. We can work on that. Let's introduce a new variable here. I need to set the size here. Marker size. It should be a vector 2D. The size here. This is 15 by 15. 40 by 40. Okay. So I'll give the default size 30 by 30. We can customize this per object. Now I'm afraid this might crash. It didn't. Okay, I'll play. Okay, no pressure. Alright, so that means here when we add the marker, I can also set size. Oh, this. Oh, maybe we should not. Right. Now it should appear as a proper circle. Yeah, see, B. But it is in the center, obviously, because we set it to the center. We didn't update the location accordingly. So for that, let's add function. Update marker positions. Now here I have the actor marker map, and we can run a get values and run a for each loop, and then for each marker we need to calculate the position. Instead of calling update marker positions, I'll call it update markers. And then here let's add a new function, update marker, just marker, not markers. Right. The first thing would be here from the marker we can get marker data. Right, this world actor. We can check if it is valid first. That would be good to do, otherwise we might run into problems. If it is valid, we can get position, get actor location, and then also we can get owning player on, get actor location. And then we can subtract this and divide from the minimap radius. Then marker, again get marker, and we can get slot as camera slot, then set position. I'm not sure if this work correctly. We might, I'm not sure if this calculation is correct, but let's just see how it appears. Then we would have a better idea to fix that. And we need to call this update markers in the tick. Yeah, it's not correct because the map is rotating. So we can actually refer to the function we wrote yesterday to calculate the location of these directional markers. Yeah, we need to consider the total rotation as well. Actually, let me select the map manager and make it always face north first. So we can just figure out the location, then rotation. So update marker here, not the minimap radius, I forgot actually. We need to get map data, break, and map size. This is what we need to do. Then multiply it by the radius. Oh, why these logs are? Oh, I know why. That's because the default size is 150. But in this design, it's actually larger than that. Yeah, it's like this. So still our calculation is not correct though. And also, if you remember, in here, and when we set the player's location, we had to consider G as R and R multiplied by -1 as G. That is to map XY coordinate in the world into the coordinate system in the texture. So the same thing applies here too. Take marker. We break this like this. Y goes to X. We did right. X multiplied by -1 to Y. This is still not correct. And also we need to consider this map scale as well, which is 0.25. We need to convert this to a parameter. Therefore, in the minimap is map data. I'll introduce a new variable. No, let's just do it here. Map scale. Map scale. And it should be 0.25. And then when I update my parameters, but scale is not something that I need to continuously update. So unless I'm using some zoom in it, but let's just do it. The parameter name map scale. Yeah, these are correct. Our B position is still wrong because we need to consider the map scale. And here, marker. Here, try divide it. Like it's in the middle. Alright, I know. Because here we divide it from the minimap map size, but we need to divide it from the half size. That's because we need to consider relative position from the player, which is in the middle. Yeah, see? Now it's correct. Okay, nice. So it's now working for when the map is not oriented towards the player's facing direction. But if I enable that, it would not work. Now, how do we fix that? Update marker. This is the calculation if we are facing north. So here, let's add a branch. Get map data. Rec. Map minimap always face north. This is the calculation. So what if not? Well, in that case, right here now I have disabled this minimap always face north, and as you can see, B is now in the center. It's not working because I don't update the location here. Now how to do that? So same as here, I would need to set the location of this, but the calculation is different. Now here is the player's location. I'll find locate rotation from player to the actor, world actor, and then also from the player I can get control rotation. And if we need to consider the delta, the difference between these two angles. This, and then from this we can get the yaw component. Let me break this and consider only the yaw. And from that yaw we can get sine value and cos value to get the relevant x and y coordinates in the widget space. Now here is the vector 2D in the widget space when we don't consider the rotation. But when we do, we just need to get the length of this vector length, and then let's make vector vector 2D with this x and y and multiply with this vector length. Now we do need to do the same thing here too, which is y goes to x and x goes like this and this position. So yeah, let's see, compile. Oh, it is working, but there is some offset here. See, the location, it does calculate correctly, but there is an offset. So I think just 90-degree offset. If you check, see, if I directly look at the marker, you see now it's in my right side. So let's not think much and just add 90-degree offset to this. If it is not plus 90, then it should be in minus 90. Yeah, it's right. Okay, so that's correct. All right, so now if I enable show in the minimap for this two, this marker 2, it would appear away on the, it would appear outside the minimap image. Don't even see that. 3, it's over there. But see, since it doesn't have a label, it shows up as just a circle. But as you can see, it does render outside the minimap area. And that is, well, it took too long to figure this part. So I will look into that in the next episode. Perhaps we should implement an option either to completely make the marker invisible or clamp the marker to the edge of the minimap. So we will have, so if it is an input, if it is an important marker, maybe we have the option to player can just see where is the direction that player needs to walk in order to reach that point. But yeah, I'll leave that for the next episode. So thanks for watching. As always, updated project files will be available for download here in the Patreon page. Link would be in the description below. And let me know if you have any questions in the comments. See you in the next episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And goodbye.